Video games are often viewed as a simple entertainment, but they can also function as powerful forms of media communication. Like film or television, games use visual design, sound, and storytelling techniques to shape how audiences experience a narrative. Few games demonstrate this as effectively as Assassin's Creed Unity. Developed by Ubisoft and released in 2014, part of a larger Assassin's Creed franchise, and one of the most popular and recognizable games in the series, Unity builds on a legacy of combining historical settings with interactive storytelling. Set during the chaos of the French Revolution, the game places players in the role of an assassin navigating a city filled with political unrest, social conflict, and revolutionary change. Through environmental realism, dense crowd simulation, and stealth-based gameplay mechanics, Assassin's Creed Unity transforms the French Revolution from a distant historical event into an immersive experience that places the player directly inside the conflict. My name is Andrew Shavitz, and welcome to Analyzing Assassin's Creed as an important form of media communication. Now let's jump right into the video. One of the most striking aspects of Assassin's Creed Unity is its recreation of 18th century Paris. The developers designed an incredibly detailed version of the city, reconstructing historic streets, architecture, and landmarks with a strong emphasis on authenticity. Ubisoft, the company behind the game, was founded in France and maintains strong cultural ties to the country, including multiple major development studios connected to Paris. This makes the setting of the game particularly meaningful. By recreating revolutionary Paris in such detail, the developers are not simply just building a fictional world, but digitally reconstructing a moment tied to their own cultural and historical background. The scale of the environment also plays a key role in immersion. Buildings are not just decorative, they are explorable, climbable, and even interconnected. This creates a world that feels continuous rather than segmented. Landmarks such as Notre Dame Cathedral serve not only as visual centerpieces, but also as navigational anchors within the game world. As players move through the city, they experience Paris not just as a backdrop, but as a living environment filled with activity and historical context. The visual design of the city plays a major role in shaping the player's perspective. Paris is built vertically, encouraging players to climb buildings, traverse rooftops, and observe the streets from above. This vertical design reinforces the identity of the Assassin Brotherhood, a group that traditionally operates from the shadows while observing society from a distance. Because Ubisoft is a French-based company with deep ties to the region, the recreation of Paris feels especially intentional. The developers treat the city not simply as a gameplay setting, but as a more cultural landmark worth preserving and exploring through interactive media. From a symbolic perspective, the design places the player in a unique position, both part of the city and separate from it at the same time. Players move through the environment while remaining hidden within it, reinforcing the themes of secrecy, surveillance, and control that define the assassin's role. One of the most technically impressive elements of Assassin's Creed Unity is its large-scale crowd system. At the time of release, the game was capable of rendering thousands of characters with a single environment. These crowds are not simply background elements, they represent the social unrest that defined the French Revolution. Protesters, civilians, and soldiers fill the streets, creating a sense of unpredictability and tension. Instead of presenting the revolution through scripted scenes alone, the game places the player directly within the dense public spaces. Another important aspect of the game's design is how it presents the revolution without a clearly defined moral perspective. While the French Revolution is often framed as a fight for freedom, the game presents it as chaotic and complex. Violence, instability, and conflicting motivations are visible throughout the environment. By placing the player in the middle of this chaos, the game avoids presenting a simple right versus wrong narrative, and instead, it encourages the player to interpret events for themselves, reflecting how media can shape understanding through experience rather than direct instruction. Sound design also plays an important role in shaping the player's experience. Background conversations, crowd chanting, and environmental sounds create a layered soundscape that reflects the chaos of revolutionary Paris. Music intensifies during stealth encounters and combat encounters, signaling moments of danger and urgency. These audio cues help guide the player emotionally, reinforcing the tension of navigating a politically unstable environment. Through both sound and visuals, the game communicates the feeling of living within a city undergoing dramatic social change. One of the defining characteristics of Assassin's Creed as a medium is player agency, or the ability for audience to actively influence how events unfold. In Assassin's Creed Unity, stealth gameplay encourages the player to observe their surroundings, plan their approach, and execute precise actions. Players can hide behind cover, blend into crowds, or even use parkour to escape danger. These mechanics reinforce the core role of assassins as a strategic and calculated figure, operating within a volatile political environment. One deeper layer of meaning comes from how the movement system reflects the themes of the French Revolution itself. The revolution was fundamentally about the struggle between control and freedom, between established authority and power of the people. This idea is mirrored in the game's parkour system, as players are given the freedom to move fluidly across rooftops, scale buildings, and navigate the city in ways that ignore traditional boundaries. At the same time, guards and other enemies, restricted areas, and constant surveillance represent the system of control that limit one's freedom. This creates a gameplay experience where players are constantly balancing movement and restriction, reinforcing the central conflict of the historical period. Another aspect of the experience is character customization. Players can equip different outfits and weapons, allowing them to shape both the visual identity and combat experience of their assassin. Whether you want to go loud or stay stealthy, the game allows you to pick weapons that align with your playstyle. These choices help to not only strengthen the player's connection to the game world, but also allow for a more personalized experience both cosmetically and gameplay-wise. While customization may seem like a smaller feature, it helps to reinforce the idea that each player's journey through revolutionary Paris is unique. Beyond its gameplay systems, Assassin's Creed Unity also uses cinematic storytelling and narrative elements to deepen its sense of immersion. At the center of the game is the story of Arnaud Dorian, a character whose personal journey unfolds alongside the larger events of the French Revolution. His story is shaped by the themes of loyalty, loss, and identity, which mirror the instability of the world around him. Rather than presenting history as a distant or abstract concept, the game chooses to connect large-scale political events to individual experiences. This helps to make the revolution feel more personal, as players are not only navigating a historical setting, but also engaging with a character whose life is directly affected by it. This blending of personal narrative and historical context is a key part of the game's cinematic design. Story moments, dialogue, and character interactions are integrated into gameplay, creating a seamless transition between narrative and player control. At the same time, the game continues to emphasize atmosphere through its environmental detail. Simply moving through the city reveals countless small moments, from street vendors and background conversations to subtle lighting and architectural textures. These elements work together to create a sense of realism that extends beyond the visuals or mechanics alone. As a result, Paris is not just a setting where the story takes place, it becomes a living, evolving space that reflects both political chaos of the revolution and the personal struggles of the characters within it. This combination of narrative, environment, and player movement is what ultimately gives Assassin's Creed its cinematic quality. Additionally, the relationship between Arnaud and Elise introduces another layer of complexity to the narrative. Their connection exists across opposing ideologies, reflecting the divisions present during the revolution itself. This dynamic reinforces the idea that history is not made up of simple conflicts, but of overlapping perspectives, motivations, and personal stakes. In conclusion, Assassin's Creed Unity demonstrates how video games can function as sophisticated forms of media storytelling. Through detailed world design, large-scale crowd simulation, immersive sound design, and interactive gameplay mechanics, the game transforms the historical setting of the French Revolution into a dynamic experience. Rather than passively observing history, players actively engage with it, navigating the political chaos of the revolutionary Paris from the perspective of an assassin. By combining historical detail with player-driven interaction, the game highlights how modern media can reshape the way audiences experience and understand the past. As video games continue to evolve, experiences like Assassin's Creed Unity and the broader Assassin's Creed franchise demonstrate the growing importance of interactive media as a powerful tool for storytelling, cultural exploration, and perspective building. Thank you for watching. My name is Andrew Oshavitz, and y'all have a blessed day.